We're going to add another few characters to our knowledge base now, a couple of numeric characters to show how they operate. So back onto our taxa tab, we're going to add a character and we're going to call it body parts. This is going to represent the number of body parts. So spiders have two main body parts. Harvestmen generally have the one, pseudoscorpions, let's say two, scorpions 3 with the tail, mites and ticks 1. I should say that this isn't an entirely accurate knowledge base for the whole of these huge global groups, but we're just doing something to demonstrate the general principle. We're going to have a character called eye number, which similarly represents eyes. Now, spiders can have, in the UK, can have between 6 and 8 eyes, 6 or 8 eyes, I should say. So we need to express a range here. So the range is expressed like this, with square brackets and a hyphen between the minimum and the maximum. Harvestmen have 2 eyes. Pseudoscorpions can have 0 to 4. And scorpions, well, I'm not sure about the UK scorpions, but in general, it's sort of 8 to 12, I think. So I'm going to put that in. And we're going to say 0 for mites and ticks. I know there are exceptions. Okay, and then we're going to have another character here, which is I'm going to call rel leg length. And this is going to express the length of the legs relative to the body. Very, very crude character. So I'm going to say in spiders, they're either the same or longer than the length of the body. In harvestmen, I'm going to say they're always longer. I know there are exceptions. Pseudoscorpions, going to say they're about the same. And scorpions, mites and ticks, we're going to say they're shorter. Okay, so there they are on the characters on the taxa tab. Now I've got to put them on the characters. I'm just going to copy these and paste them up here with the transposition to make it quick. Take off the bold. Okay, we're going to keep the same group, i.e. no group, that special word none. Don't forget this is all case sensitive, so you must have the capital N there, for example. These just match the case used on the taxa tab. Label, okay, this is going to be number of main body parts. This is going to be eye number, and this is going to be length of the legs relative to the body. I'm going to take the thes out of that because that label isn't going to fit very well, it's rather long. Okay, going to leave the help text blank for now. We'll come back to that in a later tutorial. These I want them all to be on the key, i.e. the user can specify the values for those. So that's got to have the value key in there. First to a numeric, so we put numeric in there. The last one for now, got to put text. A numeric character has to have a control type currently of spin. This relates to the type of control character that the user will see in the visualizations, and you'll see what that means in a minute. This is text, so we can have single there for control type. With spin controls, they rotate the number, as it were, between a range, a minimum and maximum. So I need to put a minimum maximum range I want to use for this control here. So this is the number of body parts, so I want it to go between 1 and 3, and I want it to increment by 1. The number of eyes, I want that to range between 0 and 12, and I could put it going up by 1, but with eyes actually, they usually come in pairs, so I'm going to put 2 there. Everything has to have a weight, so these are going to weight equally the body segmentation. This is this relative leg length, really subjective character, so it's kind of not as important. So I'm going to put it a relative weight of half the others. So I'm going to put 5 in there. All numeric characters have to have a strictness, which represents the kind of latitude that you will allow the value to miss by and still score. Well, I want to start by specifying the maximum strictness, which is 10 in here, which means that it won't allow any non-exact matches. Okay, let's save the CSVs and see what effect that has in our visualization. So these are the new characters. This is a spin control here. So as I click these up and down arrows, it moves between the maximum and minimum allowed. As you remember, body parts, it's 1 and 3. And here's the number. Let's clear that and show a number of eyes. Okay. You can actually type straight into these as well if you want. So with the body parts, if I specify a number of body parts as 2, that matches pseudoscorpions and spiders, doesn't match any of the others. So they either completely match or they completely miss, and that's because we've got a strictness value of 10. If I go back to the knowledge base and change, let's go to the 0 strictness, that's the other extreme. This allows maximum latitude. Save the worksheet, back and reload. And now you'll see that if I specify, for example, number of body parts as 2, well, it's an exact match for pseudoscorpions and spiders, but actually it's quite close for the others as well, 3 and 1, so it doesn't give such a high negative score. Let's go to 3 body parts, an exact match for scorpions, a near miss, as it were, for pseudoscorpions and spiders, which can have 2, but a bigger miss for mites and ticks, and harvestmen, which have 1 body part. So pseudoscorpions and spiders, although they're not a proper match, score higher than mites and ticks. Okay, so that is what strictness is about. It's allowing that latitude, and we've got the same with eye numbers here. Okay, so 4 matches pseudoscorpions really well, harvestmen, spiders better than mites, ticks and scorpions. Okay. It should be noted that probably neither of these 2 characters, eye number or number of body parts, is a perfect example where this kind of latitude, this low strictness values are important, because these characters, number of body parts, are fairly invariable and static. Where it's more useful is in something like body length or leg length or something like that, which shows quite a lot of natural variation, and also people measuring it or estimating it might make quite different measurements or estimates. So it's that kind of character where we're allowing a match for a non-perfect or score for a non-perfect match is important. Okay, the other thing I wanted to show you here was the effect of the weighting. So remember, legs, length of legs has got a low weighting of half, 0.5. So the maximum this can score, even for a perfect match, is 0.5, compared to eye number, where we had a weighting of 10, so that could score 1 for a perfect match. So here we've got a match for harvestman on both those characters, a perfect match, and it's scoring 1.5. That's 1 from the eye number because of the higher weighting, and half or 0.5 for the length of the legs because that has a low relative weighting.